All right, what's up everybody? It's Kris from Maxlider Brothers Customs, and today we're gonna do a cold video because it's 30 degrees outside on, we're gonna do a video on frying a turkey. How's that sound? So you know it's Thanksgiving time, and we always do a good lunch for all of our employees on both Maxlider and Mavidia, and so this year I decided I'm gonna fry a turkey, you know? I've done it I've only done it once, and it was probably about 10 years ago, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I think I got it figured out. And so I'm gonna see if I can't ruin the turkey. But we're here in Illinois, it's 30 degrees outside, it's super cold, so getting this thing up to temperature, probably gonna take a little bit, may take a little while to fry the turkey. I don't know, I'm not a pro, but I bet it comes out good, because everything I cook comes out good. Come on inside, let me show you how to prep the turkey. Okay, so I bought this bird, it's about a 20-pound turkey, last week, put it in the refrigerator for over a week, and it still wasn't thawed. Frozen turkey, didn't thaw in a week. I was like, what the heck? So yesterday morning, my wife and I wake up, and I see it's not thawed yet, and so the only way I know how to thaw it out more is with a brine. And so that was the absolute mess, because we didn't have anything to brine it with, meaning bags or anything. So it was a disaster. But got in a brine, it thawed overnight, so it's been brined overnight. You really don't have to brine these, especially if you're deep frying them, but it got brined, so it's just gonna be a little more juicy. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it ready to go on in the fryer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to inject it with some I think it's Tony Catcher's Creole butter. Inject the whole thing with it, get a lot in the breast, down in the thighs, although there's a lot of fat in there, in the wings and everywhere. And then when I'm done with that, so this guy's my hero, Cosmos. Buy a lot of his product, use a lot of it. This is Dirty Bird. This is his #1 seasoning, at least for me. I love it. And so we'll coat it in some of this seasoning. It's got some salt, some sugar, some paprika, and all kinds of good stuff in there. And so we'll coat the bird in it. Once it gets coated, it's going in the fryer once it hit 350 degrees. So let's get to injecting. So first you're gonna wanna obviously shake it up. There's a needle. I got this one off the street. Nah, it came with the butter. Shake it up really good because you got all the stuff's at the bottom of it, all the good stuff. So open her up, get it in there. All right, so we're gonna go to the breast first. Inject. Start seeing it swell up. I try to stay in one hole and get 3 or 4 different locations. And do another one, inject. You see it? Pumping up. Oh, got some butter coming out. I think they call that booter. And the brining had a lot of salt and some sugar in it. I actually used Cosmo Q's, his brine for it. I highly recommend if you're gonna brine a turkey, a whole turkey, you find something to brine it in, meaning brining bag, brining bucket. I didn't have that. I didn't know I was gonna need it because I figured it was gonna be thawed, and it wasn't. But, so my wife and I made a mess out of the whole kitchen. So right now I'm getting into the thighs. A little bit of injection in there. I'll come around the front, see, and the outside of it. Get in the inside thigh. The biggest thing is the breast, because the breast will dry out, and it'll dry out even in if you're frying it. So, but I got plenty in there in the breast, and so we got this whole bottle. So I'm just going to try to get more in it. Probably lose some through the cooking. Probably come out, but get in there. Okay, breast. All right, so I'm gonna do now, I'll flip it over. This is back. I'm not gonna get much in there, but I'll get into behind the thighs. Maybe I'll get some in those wings. Although they usually turn out when you fry them, they turn out pretty good. Actually, you need to get in there. All right, so we'll get in there, back of the thighs. As you see them plumping up. To me, I'm not sure you can get better than when it comes to turkey. I don't know if you can get better than fried turkey. What I wanted to do, it's a new thing that a lot of these barbecue guys are doing, is, there's a name for it, I don't remember it, but instead of frying it the whole way, they'll smoke it. Smoke it to a certain temperature, and then take it out, and then they finish it in the fryer to crisp it up. That's what I wanted to do, but it's gonna take a lot of time, and let's admit it, I don't have a lot of time. So, we frying. I say that's about enough. So now we will get my Dirty Bird, Cosmos Q, he's my hero. Shout out to him. He needs to share my stuff. I tag him all the time, and I think he's cheaping me. At any rate, we'll show a little bit of Dirty Bird on top. Get the wings, get under the wings. Try to do it even, pattern in. This is gonna help with the crust of it. It's got some salts in there. As I said, some paprika, he's also got a Dirty Bird Hot, which I absolutely love, but I got people coming in today to eat, and they don't like spicy food. So I went ahead with just the regular Dirty Bird. So I got the one side done. I'll flip her over. All right, and now to the breast. Under the wings. All right. I'm good with that, a little bit here. You know, the best thing about fried turkey is the skin, and can't wait. I probably won't even eat any of the meat. I'm probably gonna eat all the skin, and everybody's gonna be mad because they're gonna want some of the skin too. But the most popular thing now is duck fat, and so people will cover this in duck fat for a binder to help hold it and adhere it. I'm gonna let it sit out for a few minutes, so hopefully some of that seasoning gets in there, starts penetrating. But after I got that, what I'll do is, so this is what it's going to cook in the fryer. Here's the basket. I'm going to go breast down, so feet up. Try to do this without making a mess. I'm gonna make a mess. I'll clean it up. Sorry. Get her in there. So she'll sit in a bucket like that, and then I'll drop her in. Now, FYI, if you're gonna fry a turkey, I highly recommend that you go somewhere where you're not gonna start a bunch of stuff on fire. And when you drop it in, you wanna go cold. You know, the biggest thing, the reason why I wanted to make sure it was thawed out, is because if you put a frozen turkey into hot oil, it's going to be a big bomb. And so that's why I made sure it was thawed out really well before we're doing this. So let's go check on the cooker, on the fryer, and make sure it's up to temperature, and then we're going to put it in. So bird's ready, the fryer's ready. I probably went a little bit over on the temperature on the fryer, but once I set this thing in, it's going to drop drastically. I think it'll be sitting good. So let's go put her in the fryer. Come on, baby. All right. Moment of truth. I turned it down quite a bit, but like I said, the temperature's gonna drop. So the object here is to do this as slow as possible. All right, so what we did, we cut the propane off to the cooker. Because if you leave the propane on and you got flame at the bottom, there's always a chance of grease coming up over the top, and that's where you get your trouble, is when grease overflows, hits that flame, and all of a sudden we got a bomb. So we cut the flame off, still putting it in gently, slowly. Once we get it back in, we'll hit the lighter again. I like to use cardboard underneath, just because I'm normally cooking on concrete somewhere, and I just don't want to get grease all over the concrete, so we're almost all the way in. All right, we're all the way in. All the way in. I'll drop that down in there, and then I'll put my top back on. A lot of fryers, they don't have tops on them. I don't know, this is the way this one is, so I'll put the top back on it. We'll check out the temperature of the grease, as obviously it goes up. Check our time, put it in at 10:27. 20-pound burn, I figure it's about 4 minutes per pound. Is that what they said? So I'm figuring about an hour it's gonna take. More than likely what's gonna happen, always happens with me, is whenever I try to figure out the times and how long it's gonna take to cook something, it always goes way longer. And then when I prep for it being way longer, it goes way shorter. I can never predict it, I don't know. But as I said earlier, it always turns out good. Now we wait. Actually, normally what you do in this situation is you have your family members or friends over and you all sit around with a beer and drink a beer while it fries. But unfortunately, we got work to do today, so we still got Broncos to build. And so we won't be doing that. Yeah, we won't be doing that today. So we wait, we'll see how long it takes. We'll check in about 45 minutes to an hour and see where we're at as far as temperature goes. All right, so it's been an hour and 15 minutes so. The temperature went down drastically after I put this in. So I had to let it get back up to temperature, so that's probably why it took a little bit longer than what I anticipated. But I pulled it out once, checked it, we're good. I think we're past the done spot. So I'll show you what we do here. Obviously a lot of hot oil. So when you take it out, you're gonna do the same as what you put it in. You gotta do it slow. You gotta let some of that oil drain back down. So I'll let it sit there for a few seconds. So I'm gonna put her over here on the board. I'll drip as much as possible. Let that fold over as it does. Okay, there's my bird. I'm gonna go with it's done, so I'm gonna shut this off so we don't have to listen to it. I'm gonna grab my thermometer. This is a Thermopin. These are the best things in the world if you do cooking because they're instant, completely instant. So I'm gonna check the thighs. 165 in the thigh. That one's a little bit further. What you're going for is 165. The biggest thing you want to look for is in the breast. And so temperature of the breast, I'm at 170, 172 in the breast, which is good. A little bit past what you want. But yeah, we're done. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna bring it in and let it sit for about 10-15 minutes before we start cutting into it. And that'll be fun to watch too. Hopefully I got a sharp knife. Start carving. Oh, I don't even have to carve it. Look at that. Heck yeah. Basically just gonna go through and start cutting her up.
Now, do you have any sort of method, or is it just?
Normally I do. Normally I have an electric knife to go along with it, but I broke that last year, and so I don't have one this year. So this will basically just be go to town, start pulling. I'll pull the thighs off, probably pull the wings off next. As you can see, comes apart pretty easy. Don't mind me. Perfect. Take the wings off. Still a little hot. Then it doesn't matter from there. I will flip it over so I can get to the breast. And I slice down the breast, one of them. Get down to it. And then cut through.
Sounds like you got a lot of hungry people waiting.
There we do. Luckily, they're not all just waiting for this turkey. We also had our friends from Bandanas cater this. I just did this because I haven't fried a turkey in a while, so I figured why not. So.